Hello there, Danger Noodle here, and in today's video, I am back with another video in the game 270. Now, before we played Republican and Democrat, and especially with the 2020 election on the corner, I think it would be a good idea to have a nice look back at the 2016 election. Because of that, I am going to be playing as Donald Trump, and I am playing against Hillary Clinton. So our goal is to not just get the 270, but maybe shake up things a little, especially with the electoral college. I plan on at least maintaining the normal electors in an election, but I'll deviate every now and again if it seems advantageous. In the meantime, let's start the game. Okay, and we are in game, and we have all 50 states, and of course, the first thing that I'm going to do is I could put 200 into Texas and 50 into Ohio, but that runs the risk of Hillary also spending in Ohio, which could lose out that money. So instead, what I am going to rather do is throw 2 into Ohio and hold off with those funds and throw the other 2 into Texas in turn 2. So we can see Hillary has gone into the labor environment, Ohio is uncontested, and Hillary has gone into the women's movement. So that means that she is pushing to get more overall funds, but not really pushing into electors. So that allows us to spend a little extra time to get into Texas, and we can just end turn a while and go for our next move. So we can see Louisiana is now an issue. That is going to be one of our core states that we need to take, so I am going to put 1 into it for the next turn so we can contest into it. For the meantime, however, I am going to finish getting Texas, and that leaves us with 25k, which means I can look in here for export driven and see that that won't work. So let's see what other states we can do. And looking at everything, I'm going to go with Arizona just because it has the Latino and African American vote on top of the swing state, which will be very important in the future. So now we got Arizona, Texas, and Ohio. We're contesting Louisiana, and Hillary now has an additional 50k funds early game. It's going to be our mission to find some other funds to get early, because now that is 95k more so per round than anything I can do. We can put 1 more into Ohio, we'll put 2 into Arizona, and we'll go and take Louisiana, and with the extra funds, we can throw 1 into Pennsylvania, and throw 1 into, so it doesn't look like we can do anything other than Oregon, but I'm going to hold off there other than putting 1, and so that leaves 20k left. So I could either put it into Kansas, but that really won't help us. Same thing with Oklahoma. There we go. Iowa. That'll help us in the future to push to get swing states. We are in Iowa, and Louisiana is going to be contested. However, we did steal it. We now have full control of Ohio, and Oregon is now contested, and we've spent into Pennsylvania. Electoral wise, we now only need 270 minus 101, so we are a lot closer, especially to the 7 that Hillary has, but it's still too early to call. So we were looking at Latino. Let's see. Okay, Nevada's too expensive, but we can do New Mexico, and it's a swing state and Latino. So with the swing state, that'll give us an additional 100k that can go to all of those states, same with any of the others, which is something that we desperately need, especially since we are now being underspent. Now Louisiana has been contested in funds, which means next round I have to throw everything in, otherwise the AI will take it. Michigan I need to start spending money into, and looks like Oregon is also going in Hillary's favor, which is not surprising. Wyoming is part of the oil belt that we will need to take, so I will need to put 1 into there. And there we have it. We only lost 75k, but we picked up the manufacturing base. So that gives us an additional amount of funds that we can use to take Michigan and Wisconsin. We will need Colorado, but that is actually all 3 that we need, so we'll throw 2 into there, and that leaves us just enough funds to possibly, no, so we don't have enough. That'll leave us a little extra for next round. We have locked up Louisiana. Michigan we are now contesting. There are no changes, we are still underfunded, but that will change soon. Now export driven. We will need Florida, so we'll put 1 in a while, and that will leave a little bit of extra funds, just enough to get North Carolina. Michigan is now converted over to us. That will be a contested site, so we'll need to throw a bunch of funds into there. And we have just gained swing states, which gives us an additional 100k, so that should allow us to compete evenly and expand into export driven, which is the next stage. We will throw in all funds into Michigan, because that'll give us more to export driven, being at just under under the wind. Michigan is very close. We'll have to spend money next round. We have safely taken Florida. Looks like Hillary is now expanding into the Northeast. So we are now 56 electors away from it, and we have just gained oil and gas and agriculture and export driven. With all of these, we should have more than enough funds to start campaigning to steal away states that are already given to the other candidates. Colorado is now almost safe. Kansas is now in our favor. Kentucky is safe. We now have Minnesota. Montana is contested. And North Carolina. Nebraska is going to be a challenge. New Hampshire is ours. And we have Oklahoma contested. Nebraska and Oklahoma are going to be of big concerns. We have 7 more electors that we need, and we have all of this extra funds. We'll run on the hopes that they throw all their money into these states. We can just lock up them. In the meantime, we can get Vermont, and that leaves us enough funds where we can guarantee that these states are directly safe to give us the extra benefits, and take Alaska. Alright, that gives us a couple extra funds where we can throw into Illinois to safely get in our favor, and swing states, we can lock up Virginia, and we'll have 50k extra that we can just throw into Pennsylvania. We just lost big conservative, but that really doesn't matter because we have far more funds. Colorado is now safe. Illinois is now in our favor, but will be a challenge. We have locked Montana. That is an additional 3 electors. Vermont is now safe in our hands. Next round, we are going to want to spend everything to make sure that they don't get these extra states. Hillary is now going into the deep south, which is going to be a concern. We just lost Illinois, so that's 20 electors. North Carolina is closer. Nevada is also contested. We have South Dakota and North Dakota safe. We have managed to steal Washington, which gives us back 12 electors that we lost from Illinois. While we did lose 8, it's not a big deal. California is now in Hillary's favor. We are contesting Connecticut and DC and Delaware. Looks like the last of the states are being spent into, which is a concern, because once all that happens, then it is endgame. New Mexico is now safe, so we have built a wall in the middle of the country. We have locked up Oregon. Alright, with 295 electors, it's almost impossible to actually lose at this point. So we're going to put money into New Jersey. We're going to throw money into Nevada with our oil funds. We can take West Virginia, and eventually we will not have enough funds to take anything other than Texas and California, which I will save those funds to try and steal California away. It's very unconventional, but that is an additional 55 electors to our pool. Looks like all of the other states are being thrown into, and we will need to slowly steal them one by one. Looks like we don't get anything new. Right now, we have enough to put one into California, which will allow us to snag it into the future. We have California contested. We have taken over Connecticut and its 7 electors. And we have safely taken New Jersey. And it looks like every state has been thrown money into. We just gained Latino, and Hillary gained Town and Gown. Ballot next turn. So this is our last round. We are going to want to try and steal as many states as possible, and that means protecting them. So we can either do that, or we can cheese the game and instead try and take California. So we'll just throw 2 into there, and that leaves us a couple extra funds that we can... Actually, it looks like we can't really do anything with it since these states are not contested. Rather, I'm just going to put money into Ohio and leave it like that, and a little bit extra into Arizona. That leaves us some funds. We can try and take some states. We can take Maine, and that leaves us 20k, which really can't be thrown into anything. Looks like Hillary went to contest in Arizona and Alaska. We have managed to steal Arkansas with its 6 electors. We've taken California with its 55. We lost Connecticut with its 7, however, which is an issue. We kept Idaho and Iowa. We lost Kansas and its 6 electors, but we did gain the 55, so I consider that worth it. We gained Maine's 4. We did lose Jersey and their 14, and Ohio is safe in our control. And there we have it. We just got high tech, and we have 360 electors. Let's continue and see whether or not the presidency has been decided. Alright, 360 electors with 92 million people, over 178 with 43 million. Let's continue on and see the map. Alright, so looks like we managed to get most of the western United States. We were a little weak in the deep south and especially the northeast, however historically that is not really in Republican favor. We also lost Utah and Kansas. So that is an issue, and we lost Illinois early game. However, there was probably no way for me to take that. So this has been another video in the game 270 to look at the electoral map. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.